Belgium have hung on to beat Portugal 1-0 in a thrilling encounter in Seville. Thorgen Hazard with one of the best goals of the tournament so far and the best bit of Belgium's attacking play. Up until that point, Belgium were second best. Portugal had the better of the first half and actually the better of the second half as well. But Portugal looked like they were snatching at chances. They're trying to force the play. Ronaldo wasn't at his best. I know he's lost a half a yard of pace, but he wasn't at his best. Bruno Fernandes wasn't at his best. Admittedly, from corners they were dangerous. I mean, Courtois in the second half was the busier of the two goalkeepers. And the goal itself, I mean, Thorgen Hazard's strike, I mean, it bends both ways and wrong foots Rui Patricio. He's slightly too far to his right. If he's half a step to his left, he probably saves that. But the way the ball moves does Rui Patricio, who's a brilliant goalkeeper. And in the game against France, he pulled up a brilliant double save to get Portugal to this point. But in saying that, Portuguese finishing wayward, too many low percentage opportunities. You want high percentage opportunities where you're more likely to hit the target. Courtois pulls off a brilliant save from a corner. Portugal also hit the post. They were peppering the box with crosses, and Belgium couldn't fully get out and build phases of play and calm the game down. They were reliant on the counter-attack, and they couldn't put the game to bed, which meant it was a very nervy end to the second half. I mean, the last 20 minutes they were resisting wave upon wave of pressure, and out of the game, Eden Hazard, hamstring injury. Is it just a bit of cramp? Is it a little bit of tightness? Could it be more serious? And Kevin De Bruyne going off with an ankle injury at the end of the first half. They are going to be big losses if they're not fit for the next game against Italy, because the energy and speed which with Italy play, how much energy have the Belgians expended in this game in the heat of Seville? Because the pace of the game didn't really drop, and I think, yes, they've had 2 extra days rest over Portugal. That could be a contributing factor, but that kind of nerviness, that mental fatigue can get in there. And they've been very good defensively up to this point, conceding 1 goal. And admittedly, they've had some shaky moments in defence, but they've got a brilliant, world-class goalkeeper in Courtois backing up that defence. But there's a lot of bookings in that defence now, so there's a few nervy moments. They weren't fluid. They were wasteful on the counter-attack. They had opportunities with Lukaku and Carrasco to put the game to bed, and they didn't. And yes, they've got through, but if they get that second goal, I think that kills Portugal. As it was, they kept even Portugal with a chance, but the Portuguese, they looked a bit tense in front of goal. They were snatching at opportunities. Ronaldo with the dead ball. His free kicks weren't great. Bruno Fernandes, a couple of good corners, but in open play, his cross is not good enough, not beating the first man. But then Belgium, they're not winning that second ball, so the play breaks down again, and Portugal, another wave of possession, another wave of attack. And if the Belgians play like that against the Italians, they will find it tough going. Yes, they're the number 1 ranked team in the world, but now they've got to do it in a pressure situation. They've got through 1 big test, and this is the second big nation to go home today after the Netherlands. But the Italians, I think, will be a step up over the Portuguese. The Portuguese aren't the team they were in years past. And this could be an end of an era. This might be the last time we see Ronaldo and Pepe at a tournament. Will they go again for the World Cup next year? Pepe, not likely. Ronaldo, it's a possibility if he can stay fit over the next 18 months. But again, this could be the last time we see Ronaldo pulling on a Portuguese jersey. Some other players, there's some good young players coming through for Portugal, but a bit of inexperience with some of them. They just weren't clinical enough in front of goal. The Belgians, yeah, they do need to play better in the next game, but Thorgen Hazard, playing as a wing-back in this game, he can play in midfield, can play as an out-and-out winger. Not the best defensively. He's better going forward. I'm not sure Roberto Martinez knows his best role in this team, but I think he was better than Eden Hazard, and they were interchanging at points down the left, and they were very threatening down the left, and that goal is brilliant. There is no question on that finish, and Thorgen Hazard has a very, very bright future ahead of him at international level and at club level. But for all the promise the Belgians had in the group stage, they didn't really look as effective going forward in this game. So with De Bruyne and Hazard as injury concerns going into the next game. It's going to be very interesting to see, with one less day recovery time than the Italians, how that's going to impact their tournament. If they are missing that, those are big misses, I think, for Belgium. Portuguese, they are a team that's still rebuilding. We'll see what happens with them by the time of the World Cup. What their lineup looks like, what their squad looks like. But they've lost a lot of experienced players in recent years, and some of these younger players, I think, were a little bit nervy. They were snatching opportunities. They weren't as fluid as Portuguese teams of old, and they came up against. I mean, they scraped through the group. Let's be honest. They weren't fluid in the group, and they got lucky against Hungary. 2 draws and a win. They weren't great in the group stage, and obviously they can't retain their title. So the Euros are now fully opened up with the Czechs winning today, and the Danes winning well. Belgium need to step up their game a bit if they are to go further in the tournament past the Italians. And the Italians had a big test last night as well. This knockout stages has not been as predicted. Some real interesting results and a couple of shocks. So Portugal are going home. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.